What's happening, fishing friends? Welcome to another episode. Just got home. Stubby and I, we had to run to the post office. Stubby, what'd you think of that post office run? What'd you think of that run? Sit. Oh, what a good boy! I didn't even have to tell you. Such a gentleman. Went to the post office, picked up stuff. Did you think that was fun picking up this stuff from Daiwa that took 3.5 weeks to get here? It's better than not getting here, right? Dude doesn't go anywhere without me. He's such a good boy in the truck. We went and picked up some stuff I finally got from Daiwa. Sent me some pieces. Took like 3.5 weeks to get here because we're going to repair that Daiwa Tatula 200 that I broke. I set the hook sideways, busted the handle off. I'll talk about it more, but stuff is a mess here. Quick look inside of a YouTuber's house. This is the spot where I package and put together all lures that go out in sales. I have them all lined up there nice. I've basically got, I think, what, like 3 or 4 lures left is all. Put them all together here, sit crisscross applesauce here, tape up all the packages, so that's where the magic happens. Anyway, I'll get all the fancy lights and everything on, but we're gonna use the painting booth as a makeshift reel factory or reel repair shop doctor place here. Let's get all the lights on, get this flipped around it, and start fixing this reel because I need to get it back on the frog rod. Well, first off, have to thank the guys over at Category 5 Bearing for sending me one of their sweet little kits. This thing has actually become extremely handy. It's what I've been using for all my reel work. Not sponsored by these guys or anything. They just sent it over and said, hey, we like what you do. Try this out and let us know your honest thoughts. Sticker's pretty cool. I'm not a big sticker guy, but that is a pretty neat sticker. Comes with a screwdriver in here. It does have the Phillips side, and then you push it, pull it out, and it's got your flat side screwdriver right there. It's got a brush for, well, brushing things. It's got a pair of tweezers, awesome for grabbing bearings, small screws. It's got your bearing measuring tool, which you can actually use to measure the inside of the bearing. You can see how they fit on there. And it's also a good way to spin old bearings and test, see how they sound. These are some old ones that I actually took out of another reel. See, there's not much spin on it at all. This thing has been awesome. It's a little pick there, perfect for reaching in and grabbing out bearings when they're kind of stuck inside of a deal there. Love it. And then your wrench. Most of them are going to be 10 millimeter. I think it said one of these sides is slightly bigger, like 10.5 or something, but most of them are going to be a 10 millimeter to take off that external nut that holds your reel handle on. It comes with the spool pin remover to change, if I can get it out here. Comes with this to remove the spool bearing off the spool. Now, I don't know if the Daiwa that I'm going to take apart is going to have that. I don't think we're going to change bearings or anything, but it's pretty cool. You just take your spool, put it inside there, and that little pin that holds the bearing, you put that through there, literally just screw that on. That's all you got to do. Pulls that right out, pops the pin out, you can change the bearing and put it back on. And then they also sent me like a little random box. Oh, and they give you another arm in case you need a replacement arm. And then just some random bearings, some high-speed bearings that they make. They're at Category 5 bearings, some orange seals, and then some regular. And just to show you the difference, remember that one I was spinning? This is with one of their bearings. Spinning, spinning, spinning. So it's honestly really handy having all this put together. So let's put this to the side and grab the star of the show. Yes, that poor Daiwa Tatula 200 that I set the hook on sideways and completely busted the handle off. And people were asking, what did you actually do? I couldn't really tell. Take that off just to make it easier. Do you see the nut that goes on the outside of this? This nut actually won't fit on anymore. Doesn't matter which way you do it. I think it was a left-hand Titan before since it's the Daiwa deal, I don't remember, but either way, won't go on there. And once you get it on, it pulls right off. As you can see there, you get it on, let me show you, just like that, keeps pulling off. So I stripped this and you'll be able to see it just barely here. Hold on, just barely there. You can see on the ends how those are rounded off. They're not as long as the other screws there, or the other threads. That's where I ripped that baby off. So what I'm gonna have to do is take this baby apart, take the handle side plate off, and replace that main shaft right here, this guy. That dude right there, going to replace that. And I finally got the part from Daiwa. It took, I don't know, maybe 3.5 weeks or so to get it. Take this apart, get this new one put inside there, and hopefully everything should fit on. And we're going to talk about a little bit different Gomexus handle I've got to put on. So I'm going to speed this up, take you through it, and I'll do some talking over it. All right, so first up, taking off the square brass piece. This is actually what tightens down under your star drag to tighten your drag. So it's a nice little system. Put that in the order that I'm taking them off there. You can see the star drag, the spring. Flipping over quick here, just another view of that main shaft. You can see how the threads on the end of that are all chewed off and ripped off. Yeah, nice job, Debo. Taking off the non-handle side plate. It's a screw piece there that you have to screw. It's like spring-loaded. Take out my spool just like that, nice and gentle. Let's look at the frame. Next, I'm going to take off the screws that hold the handle side plate on. And again, as you can see up there, I'm putting them in the order that I'm taking them off. Up there you can see the couple screws that I have there. Take off that handle side plate, and there's the innards. Good looking reel, if I say so myself. See how it moves there? Very nice. Now this is the actual piece here, the main shaft, that one right there that drives the main gear and everything. That's what we need to replace. So first is going to be the main gear and the drag stack, the drag washers and everything. This can all come off nice and gentle like that. Then the little ratchet washer looking deal that's underneath all that. You can see the plastic gears that are under there. That's what actually turns, in this view, your worm gear right there that moves your line guide left and right. And in there are the two screws that we need to take out. That holds that piece in. Unscrew that. Nice, clear, good view. That's the piece out. Now you can see there's a little C-clip or E-clip in there. I need to take that off to get the bearing off. Did that off camera because they're kind of a booger. Remove the bearing. There it is. And pull that plastic gear and that retaining piece of metal off. That's the new main shaft. Pull it off there. And put it on the new one just like that. Like a glove. Fits perfect. See? Need to put our bearing back on, then put the C-clip back on. I had to do that off camera, but I use my tweezers to push it just the rest of the way on there like that. Make sure it's in place. I kind of move it back and forth, make sure it's locked in. Looks good. Put that back in the frame like that, and then I need to grab my two screws, get that screwed back down in and make sure it's in place. Number one, number two. Perfect. That's turning the little plastic main gear that turns my worm drive. Love it. Put these on in the order that I took them off, so it's going to be that little ratchety looking gear there, and make sure that it sits nice and flush. You can see it's kind of an oval shape. Sits down on there. Make sure you don't have that on wrong, because then your side plate won't go on correctly. Next, I put my main gear on. It's kind of giving me a little bit of an issue there. Make sure all those ovals fit together. My drag stack, everything fits together nice and perfect. And just make sure you don't bump those little springs or your pinion gear right there, because that will, again, make your side plate not fit on correctly. Also, don't push down your thumb bar, because that's going to bump up the yoke there that holds your pinion and mess everything up. Now, the little sheath that goes on underneath your anti-reverse spring, it's got two little grooves on this specific model, the Tatula 200. They fit down in there just like so. You want to make sure they go on those grooves so it fits nice and flush like that. You can see how it fits down in there. Make sure those are nice and flush. Everything's sitting correctly. Now I can grab my handle side plate, and there's a little washer up top here that sits on the bearing. Make sure you don't lose that. Don't want to lose any parts, and I almost lose it anyway. Good job, Debo. Everything's on there, again, fitting nice and flush. Okay, looks good now. Need to grab my screws in the exact same order that I took them off. That's why I put them up there in kind of that little diagram, so I know the front screw, the top screw, and the back screw, and I don't tighten it all the way. Get all three screws in. You can see how I laid them up there. Get all three screws in. You can also see that the screws have nice little tight small threads. An indicator that it's going into aluminum. If it were going into a graphite frame, it'd be much larger screws, much larger threads that go on there to grab that. Another thing you have to watch out for when you have a graphite side plate here, don't tighten it too much. You can break that graphite side plate. Now that I have them all in, I can tighten all three screws up nice and tight like that. Next is going to be this is actually the part that makes your drag click. You can see that little part sticking out on the bottom. That gives you a click and drag. Get my little drag washers on there. The square brass piece that tightens the drag down. Get that tightened on there. Okay, it's working. My star drag, this is, I would assume like a carbon whatever. Now I need to put the spool on. I'm just using my fingernail to push that line in there to make sure it doesn't unravel when I try to stick it in. Get my spool inside there nice and gently. Get my other side plate on like that, twist it on, and then again it's got that kind of spring-loaded screw on the Daiwa models, a lot of them. So you have to screw that in and kind of push it down and screw it in. I'll get that tight here. Put my drag on, you can hear it clicking there, making sure everything works. Keep that pushed down, and the little washer, I did knock that off. We'll get that on there. And there you go, you can hear the drags tightening, which means yes, it's working. All right, so now the next part, we're going to put the Gomexus handle on. Let me grab it. I guess I should explain here. I don't know. Apparently, Gomexus has changed their handles. Maybe they have different kinds you can buy. This is the one that I had on here originally. Super nice handle. I think it's 105 or I believe this is a 105 millimeter handle. Really nice. You can see it's got the carbon fiber there. But the thing is, you use your existing reel nut, which is this thing that holds the handle on that I had on my other Daiwa. Now, since I stripped that out, I stripped the inside of that and my other main shaft, that guy that we just took out. I ordered that part from Daiwa and they sent me this. I figured that's going to look kind of crummy on the outside of it. However, I did have, I think I bought like 4 of these total, these Gomexus handles. Really nice for certain things. I can't afford to put them on every single one of my reels. Get them on sale for like, you know, 45 bucks or whatever, but that's expensive to put on a reel. Some of them I do like it like this on a frog rod, you know, things where you're setting the hook hard. I really like it. Now this one's a little bit smaller. I didn't notice this. Does it say 100? This is 100 millimeter. I think this is 105 or 110, something like that. So you can see the size difference there. This one's just a little bit bigger. So this one's a little bit smaller, but as you can see there, it's got an opening in it. And with these, again, I don't know if this is the new kind they have or if they have multiple kinds you can buy. I didn't notice a difference. However, they come with these little nuts that actually push down inside the reel handle and fit on the outside like that. And you have to watch out because there's different ones when you get the Gomexus handles on Amazon. I'll link it down below. But there's certain ones you get for like Daiwa models and certain ones you get for Shimano. All right, so we're going to push our star drag down. That's what tightens our drag there. Push that down. Get this on. Make sure this is all the way down there nice. Perfect, just like that. And then, whoops, was it this one I said? I should have set that aside. Get this put on here, get that threaded so it starts. Okay, that'll start going down there, biting down into it. And then to tighten it up, it's actually nice because they give you the little like Allen key looking deal. I don't even know what you would call this, like a star drive looking thing, little star drive key. And then you actually use this. This fits right in the handle nut here, and you use this to tighten it right onto your reel. So if everything went according to plan, I should be able to tighten this on, do a check, okay. And then the nice thing about the Daiwa drag is this part doesn't move. It just moves that brass square piece that y'all saw me put on there, moves that inside there so I can tighten it way down. Oh, there we go. Look at that. And we've got a brand new handle on. That is how you replace that main drive shaft in your reel. Of course, every reel is going to be a little bit different once you open it up. Luckily, this one was nice and easy, but that's it. Nothing to it. I encourage you guys to try some of this. Make sure you lay your parts out in the exact order that you take them out. I've stressed that, and I'll link my video for like cleaning reels and taking them apart at the end, because I stress that and I go through everything when I completely tear one of these down. And I completely tear my Lew's LFS all the way down, stripped clean to the frame, take everything off and show you guys. Again, each reel will be a little bit different. You can see this drag is still good. The handle is good. So in that video, what happened is when I set the hook, I set it sideways and I pulled on the knob, and I pulled and popped that so hard that this handle nut that was on the outside of this, I completely stripped it off. So y'all can see there, the first few threads that won't even hold on. So that's why it was all wobbly. Completely stripped that off and ripped it off. That's why I had to call Daiwa. Some people said they had some issues ordering parts from Daiwa. I had no issues. They said they were going through inventory, so it would take a little bit longer to get to me than normal. I think it took like 3.5 weeks, almost 4 weeks. But you can see there how messed up the end of that is, how there's no threads left on it. I completely just ripped those completely off. So yeah, no complaints for me. The person was really nice at Daiwa that helped me with it. I guess my only complaint would be the handle nut that I asked for is not what you would expect. It's not like the regular one that comes on the Tatula. I don't even know if this is the same one. I just had this one laying here, but that's definitely not what was on here. So what do you do? Oh well, the cool part about these Gomexus knobs is they come with one like that and get her all fixed up, baby. Come on, you want to come down and do the outro with me? Come on. Let's do a YouTube outro, old stubby dog. Good boy. Look at that. I had to patch some holes and stuff. I need to repaint that. Come on, Debo. Why are you slacking? Anyway, we're going to do the outro over here, like non-crazy, you know, super formal. Stubby, what do you think? It's been a fun time, huh? We finally got the old Daiwa Tatula 200 put back together in working order, and I need to throw it on a rod. A lot of people ask me questions about the frog combo, what rod, what reel. There's so many options out there. I need to do a whole different video on that, talking about reels, rods. But for the reel, I like something with an aluminum frame and an aluminum side plate. So you can see the handle side plate on this one, the frame and the handle side plate this side are both aluminum. Huge for frogging. You can see I didn't bust anything big in there, right? I could have busted a main gear. I could have busted a side plate. If this was graphite, I could have busted that. Randizzle's even done that. We talked about on the live when he was tightening these screws. He broke the graphite side plate by just tightening it too much, right? So Aluminum frame at the minimum, I would say, for Froggin. Now you can go all graphite and stuff. If you fish a lot, you'll probably notice some wear and tear quicker than if you were to go with something aluminum. Now for the rod, you do not need something crazy expensive. So this is the Okuma Serrano, this blue rod here. I don't know how well you can see it since we're kind of going whipsy woozy, not on a tripod. There you go. Okuma Serrano. It's like a $100 rod. I've liked it a lot. As you can see from the last video, definitely winched some good fish out of really, really thick stuff. And you can even hook like, you know, a pound bass, and it feels like a monster when you're dragging them through all grass and lily pads like I was fishing. I threw on the Okuma Komodo back on here. I'm very happy with that so far. Again, aluminum frame and aluminum handle side plates. And that one I upgraded the knobs to those spool speed knobs, if it'll focus. Come on, focus here, baby, focus. Not in the mood to focus. But anyway, that's enough for me. Comment below if you'd like to see some more real upgrades or repairs. I can do bearings. I've actually got a full handle video still coming that I've been meaning to do, going over those Gomexus knobs, the spool speed knobs that Scott puts out, Lose knobs, all these different knobs that you can find online. Are they worth it, right? Because they're kind of expensive. 40 bucks for a pair of knobs, but certain situations I really like them, and certain situations I could care less. You don't need them. But enough from me. Comment below and let me know if you'd like to see some more of that reel cleaning, you know, quick how-to type stuff, reel maintenance. I'm a gear nerd. I love breaking these open and doing that. So enough from me. You can see from the 4 or 5 minutes that I've been talking here, Mr. Stubby Dog is less than enthused with what I'm talking about. Stubby, don't you like what I'm talking about here? We're talking about fixing reels. Going for a walk? Oh, you like going for walks. What about going to the post office? That's one of your favorites, isn't it? You like going to the post office. So enough from us. I appreciate all of you who continue to watch and support my channel. Today's shout out goes to the guys over at Category 5 Bearings. Thank you guys so much for sending over that pack. I've honestly used the heck out of that thing. It's nice to have everything all put together in one little case. Again, not sponsored by them. They didn't pay me to say this. They just sent it and said, what do you think of it? Pretty cool pack. I'll leave their link below in case anybody does their own reel maintenance. Check it out. I've been happy with it so far. So enough for me. Need to get this edited. Thank you all for watching, and hopefully we'll have the old Tatula 200 back out ripping some frogs through the grass and fish and all that stuff. So thanks for watching, and until next time.